This conference will now be recorded.
After we finish this core Python, I would like to start the other topic, which is nothing but maybe I'll introduce a bit of OOP, and then this will continue, guys. Again, we will continue with data science. I will again switch to analytical Python, then we'll start machine learning, and then deep learning. It goes like that. So that's how. For all this, what is the basis again? Python, as I told you. So prepare well, start working. That will be going to help you a lot. Now next one. So this is it here. So after this, yesterday we have discussed so many things, right? How to open a file, how to read a file, what are the different read functions, difference between read and read lines. You tell me now. Both read and read lines are used to read the entire file, but what is the difference between these two? Can anybody tell me here? Okay. Um any idea? And this is one thing we miss. This is the pending one. How to write into a file. If you finish this, we can complete the basic files, like how to work with text files. Then probably we will switch to the next style of files. You can switch to CSV or something else. Okay. Hope it's clear, right? So now, are you ready now? So how do you write to a file? But for that we use write function, which is a very straightforward function, and we open a file like this, and we just say write off whatever we need. We have to write it. Whenever you are writing a file, append it with new line, because if you don't append with new line, and if you are expecting to write line by line, you want everything in the same line, then you can write everything in the one write function itself. You don't need multiple writes. Second thing is, if you want it line by line, at the end of each value, whichever you are trying to insert, at the end of that, append it with a new line, end it with new line, so that you know, whatever you wish to write, it will be written line by line. That is what, and it will be very clear for you as well. So this is a simple code, but writing happens. I told you, writing happens. It's a very rare operation. It is not the frequent operation, because whenever you are working in a real-time project, mostly it's more of a, it's more of what, gentlemen? It's more of a read operation, not write operation, because we do read more, because we get files from the clients, okay, which has a lot of data in that. So we always get files with data, and it is a very, very rare thing that we write something to a file. So far, I never written anything to a file, because the operation targeted is more of reading a file. It's not writing a file. You need to understand. And after reading, you do some analysis on it. You might try to check whether there are any empty or null values, or whether you have any all this kind of stuff. Okay. So that is the point. Right. Now, one more thing is, whenever you are going with the open statement, you have to, when you open it with the open, then you have to close it with close. Okay. So that is very important. This is a thumb rule. At least when you are doing write operation, if you don't close when you read it, at least that is fine. But if you don't close when you are writing, whatever the writes you perform, then that doesn't get stored into the file. There is a possibility of missing out that writing to a file. So if you don't close it, because that whatever you write first, it goes to a buffer. From buffer, it will go to a file, and if you don't close, it might be that buffer is not flushed to the file. What are the data in the buffer? It won't be flushed to a file. It won't be forced to write to a file. So there is a possibility of losing data there. So closing is the best choice that is recommended for us. Okay. Okay, you can try the small example. This is not something complicated. We have written. bigger programs than these. So why don't you try this now? Okay, just try it. This is writing line by line. Okay, if you want, you can write a big line also. I just put it so that for a quick understanding analysis. That's all. Why don't you test this program first? Okay, you just try this. It's a small program. Open your shell. This is open your idle, or if you have any other IDEs also, you can try that. Then paste your code here and then test it like how it works and see what happens is here. You know, if you look at this code, you are saying that you are opening a file in E drive with the name abc.txt. And if you go and look into E drive, you can find a text file with abc.txt. If any file is there with abc.txt, name this with some other name, abc123, no problem. And see that this file is created in the D drive. This is important. Now you open it and see whatever you try to write to your file, that must be visible, that must be present in the file which you have created and to which you have written this data. Why don't you check it once? Try it once, guys. Come on. Okay, guys, I'm showing you. See this. I'm running this code. This is not something too difficult for us. You just need to open, just name the file. And here, one thing you have to observe here is the mode which we are using. That is important. What mode you are seeing here? You are seeing write mode, and using write mode is very important. So what you do is open your idle. Then anyhow, we have already copied this in our data file. Now what do you do? Just copy and paste it. This is the only thing you have to change here. Just apply write operation. Just append new line at the end of this. Then finally close it. This is a simple program. It is very something difficult. I would have written line by line. As it is a simple one, I just ask you to test it. Okay. Now what I want to do is go to run and then say run module. Of course, nothing. You can't see anything here because this is writing to a file. You are not writing to the console here. If you write to the console, you can see the output here, but you are not writing to the console. You are writing to a file. What is that you should do right now? You have to go to E drive. You should find this file inside E drive. So what do you do right now? Open this. Okay, open it and then go to the E drive. Inside your E drive, you should find ABC123. Open it. You can see this. A file is created here. That name, and you can see here whatever you have seen in the program. The same lines are written to this file. So this is how we write to a file. Got it right. Writing file is nothing but excuse me. We are writing to some some notepad file or some text file into your local machine, which is stored into the hard disk. That's all. So file concept is nothing. Already you have files in the hard disk. We open those files and read it and then do some analysis and then we write it to the files. Usually in real time we don't write to the file back. Okay, what do we do is you do some customization and you try to what you do is um, you get the result and do some reporting for that. Okay, read it and do the analysis and then generate some output, and that output what you do is you show it in the form of reports to the people. That's what we need there. But it's not like we don't completely write to your files. Yes, we do write to your files also, but writing is less compared to reading. That is the point. Okay, I know the frequent operation is read here, but I don't say that we don't write, because like 3 weeks back I had done an automation. So for that I have to extract all the records from HBase and then I have to separate my keys from the row keys from the HBase, and I should write it to a file first. And after that, I read that file and then I append some delete commands to that records, because it is a customization where we need to dynamically delete the row keys from a HBase. So that's what the code I have written. And then there as an intermediate this thing, I have written to a file first. All the row keys I wrote it to a file, and later on I have appended the delete command to that row keys. Again, I wrote again those deletes to a file again back. Means what is the point here? Point is we do write operation, but write happens once in a while, whereas read happens very frequently. That is the difference. Okay. So now, okay, let's what I'm talking right now, data science thing. I mean file name, not the data science, but of course people name data science. To be frank, as of if you ask me, everything is more of a Python. It's an algorithm you apply in Python and you see some results. That's all. So this anyhow you don't need this. Earlier out of my this thing, I asked it to do something like this, but now okay, it's fine. You can skip this right now. So this is all simple analysis. Now again, one more last thing that reading line by line. Anyhow, you know that we have discussed that point. If you have 4 lines, you can apply 4 read lines or 5 read lines. The first one, if it is header, then later on you can apply read line. But every time you cannot. If that is the case, one small challenge is if your file having 4 or 5 rows, it is fine. If the file is having some lakhs of records or millions of records, then you cannot every time say read line. Then you have to iterate it through a loop until the end of the file. That is important. Okay. And there is another way. So far we have seen what is that files here, reading and writing files. Okay. And we have seen the output as well. One thing is when you talk about files, we have discussed we have text files and we have binary files. But mostly you work with text files. You don't deal with binary. You don't deal with that much with binary files, or you don't deal with binary files at all. If I say that much means might be you might think there is something you try to work with binary, but Mostly you don't deal with binary files. Okay, so coming back to the point. So you know, right? If it is a normal file, there are three different modes for normal file. Normal text file, that is write and read and append. Okay, and there are three or four functions. One is open, another one is read, another one is the read lines. Of course, two more types of reads are there. Then you have close, and apart from that, there is a write function. Okay. Suppose if I want to read a binary file, how do you read it? Binary means, binary data. It's zeros and ones, isn't it? Then how do you read binary data? It's simple. So actually, if data is in the binary format, we open it and read it. But the point is how you are going to read it. What are the modes we use to read binary files? For that, we have two modes here, RB and WB. RB is for reading a binary and WB is for writing to a binary. I'm not sure about appending binary files because I never worked with binary. So I'm not sure. We can check it and the Google. Don't worry. So whenever you want to write some binary, these are the two modes for reading and writing. Then I just prepared some data of my own. So these are two binary values, X and Y. Now I am opening a binary file, the write mode. You remember bytes function, right? If it is a binary data, you don't write it directly. You don't pass write of X here or write of Y here. But you know what you do? You pass the form of bytes array here. You can see the beginning of collections. I told you, whenever you want to write some binary data, you write it in the form of bytes, but not directly, because such data has to be written only with such methods. If you directly write it, it might lead to an error. We'll check it. Okay. So if you see here, I'm trying to write some binary data here to a file and closing it and just write success. So what you do is you just take this data, you can copy it and paste it here. So what do you do right now? Just copy paste here. I have two binary values. Then what I'm doing, I'm opening a file and writing into the binary file here. Okay, I'm just showing you for this is not something we use it, but only just for some idea. Okay, otherwise we can skip this as well. But still, let's have some quick idea. Now I have opened a file here. If you see here, and my mode is WB write binary, and then I am writing to the write function, but I'm not directly writing it. See here, let's remove this and see here. Okay, and let us try to write this X directly. See if it is allowing to write the data directly and see what happens. Okay, fine, no issues. That F drive is not possible. You put E drive. Okay, E is there in our machine. Say run module. And if you see the error here, this write function is accepted. This is a binary data. When it is a binary data, you see the error here. Observe the error. A byte like object is required, not int. As the data is a binary data, it is expecting bytes object. It's not expecting int object. So what shall we do now? So we have to we have to convert this integer to bytes. It's clearly saying that I need a byte data. I don't need integer data. So what do you do then? It's a simple thing, right? From here. So pass it to bytes. We know about this. We have discussed bytes, array byte in the beginning of collections. I taught you this very clearly. Again, bytes. So now you can see the practical use of bytes function here, this use case, and then close it. Now you run this run module. Okay, write success and go to the E drive. You can see some binary data, and it is showed in the form of a PNG here. And that it's saying it's not supported. Don't worry about it whether it is supported or not. We don't need to worry too much about it. I'm just showing you how to write a binary data, how to convert it to the bytes form, and how to write it to your file. That's what it is. Okay. Okay. Clear, right? Is it clear, folks? Test it once. Quickly test it. Take a minute and test it once. Don't worry if you are not seeing anything, or in the output if it is saying it is not supported something. Don't worry about it, because it's not that important now. That is only just for idea. Maybe I'll try to open it in some other. It's saying it's not supported. No issues for us. Okay, that's fine. Just test it. That's all, and see how you can work with the binary data. That's all. Try it once. Take a minute and test it. Okay, guys. I think you have you are done with this. Now, before this, one more small use case is there. Let's quickly try that. What is that use case? You can see here, while writing to a text file, we have seen writing line by line. There is another way of writing to this file. What is this? Writing in the form of a list here. You try this now. If you want to write all values in one go, in a single shot, multiple values in single shot, then you can write data into a list and you can pass that list to. Instead of write, we can use write lines. Like instead of read, we have read lines, right? Similar to that, instead of read line, we have read lines. Sorry, not read. Instead of read lines, we have read lines. Here also, what do you do? Instead of write, you can use write lines and you can pass a list to that. This function always accepts list. It doesn't accept a direct string or something else. Okay. So what do you do right now? You can prepare a list like this. Don't forget to append new line at the end of each value, separated with comma, because you know how to prepare list. You pass it to this function, okay, and test it. Right? You can test it. You get the same output, but the difference is this time you are writing multiple values in one shot. Earlier you wrote it one by one. That is the difference. Okay, why don't you try it once? Test it now. Somebody is asking me a question. Is it possible to read a JPG file? What do you say, Sandeep? Possible or impossible? Not possible. What is your opinion? There are three answers. You can choose any one. Not possible, impossible, or okay, we can do it. It's possible. If the answer is wrong, then we can correct it. Not an issue. Yes, we can read JPGs, Sandeep. You get some kind of what I have seen is we see some binary codes from the JPG files. Okay, because usually images, audios, videos are stored in the form of a binary form inside a JPG file. Okay. Okay, guys, if you test it quickly, then I will switch to the next type of file. Okay, we are done with text files. We will take up another type of file. Okay, but probably I'll take JSON because you work with JSON a lot in real time. JSON, CSVs, okay, and all this. So what do you do now? You finish this, then I will also show you a small piece of code how to read JPG, and then I will switch to the JSON file. Let's play with JSON. There is lot of interesting stuff in JSON. Let's play with it. Okay, we will see a lot of use cases on that, so that in any real-time project, if any such scenario comes, you can just play it like that. Okay, we'll see that there. Okay, guys, I hope you have sufficient time there. Okay, this is a simple program, not something complicated. What do you do right now? You can just copy this and check it out how to use it, or just open this, just modify this code. What do you do right now? You can just remove this, you don't need it, and change the mode to W instead of WB. And then here, this time we need to prepare a list before writing to the file. you prepare a simple list and add some strings here, or you can directly add some integers, not an issue. But I'm trying to write some strings. Okay, then I'll just write okay. So I'm just adding some just values here, something like data science. Okay, comma Python, comma big data. Just adding some names. That's all. And I'm appending new line at the end of each one, and then new line, and then new line. Okay. And then what is that I should use here? I can directly write this to a write function, but write is not enough because we have multiple lines we are writing here. Assume that every word is one line. Okay, you can treat it as one sentence. You can write a bigger one also. Data science is hot. Okay, and Python is okay. Superb. Just write something. You can add a line also as well. Okay, big data is very big. Something like this. Okay. Now you can add all these lines of code, lines of data into a file in one shot by using write lines. Don't use write. Write is just for writing a single line, okay, to a file, whereas single row to a file otherwise. Write lines, multiple rows. It is used to write multiple rows to a file, okay? Finally close the file and just run the program. Just say run module. You get a success here. Now you go to the path here, wherever you are writing file. You're saying e binary.png. You just change this file because we are not using png file, whereas we are just writing some xxx.txt. That is enough for us. Again, rerun the program, run modules, okay, and then go to the E drive. And inside that, xxx is there. So you can see that all the lines of code is written to the uh, file here. You can see it's very clearly visible. So I am successful writing multiple lines to a file by using just a write lines function. That's the point. Okay, clear, right? So I'm done with this topic. Still, somebody is asking, can we read a JPG file? Okay, JPG are binary file. We can read it, not an issue. Might be if you have any images here. Just see if I have any images saved here. There are so many images. I don't know what image is what. Okay. So I'll do one thing. In my E drive itself, there are some images. I try to just read that JPG and show it to you. Let us just check it once. Let us see how it is going to be useful for us. You can see there are so a lot of images here. Okay, all these are JPG files. You can see here. These images are JPG files. Something related to our big data or something related to this. Okay. So now you can close this. Then you don't need a Aadhaar everything. Okay, this is an Aadhaar here. So take something of your choice. Okay, I will try to read this image. Okay, I will try to read this image. Just change the name. I don't want so lengthy name here. It's little. I will name it as some my image. Okay, that's all. Let me just read this now. This is the path actually. Try to get the full path. The easiest way is copy from here. My image, copy this path. Okay, come to the this one. Then what do you do? Just paste it here. Then change the mode, read mode. Even if you don't specify the mode, by default it is a read mode, so it will work. Nothing to worry about it. Even if you don't specify read R mode, default mode is read mode, then automatically which operation happens, the read operation happens here. Okay, so if you have a doubt, I will remove and show it to you this as well. Okay, then save this, and then what do you do right now? We have done opening. I told you yesterday, if you have this slashes, Either use double slash or go for forward slash. Append one more slash here. Otherwise, you get an error. If you don't put double slash, you are going to see an error there. Okay? So you have to be very careful there. Okay. Then we are not writing, we are reading. So what do you do right now? You just say some data equal to some f1 dot. You read the whole data. Then what do you do right now? Let's print and see what is that we are going to see in the, just say print of some data. Then close it. I am reading a JPG file here. You can see that. Sandeep, this is your question. Even it's good to just see how it works. Okay, let's just run this program. Say run. See what's going to happen. Okay, it is actually byte data, right? The problem is it is a byte data. Mm. So I think
base 64 video.
pardon, what is that?
Something like base 64 video.
No, 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 no. I think I have one program for reading JPG. We'll just quickly check it once. I wrote it long back. Usually we don't do this reading JPGs frequently, but we can Google it now, not an issue. Few things we can try from Google, not a problem. I will try from the outside. Somewhere I wrote one simple code to read this one. Okay, I understand. The issue is this. We are reading a binary file, right? So what you have to do is the mode here is we should use RB, not R. By default, it assumes this as a normal text file. So we have to use RB. So now let's run this. This time if we can see any change here. Yeah, definitely there is a change. We don't see the error here. The squeeze test here is, if you look at it, it's showing, you know, can you see this now? So what I'm missing here? The mode. What is that I should use here? I should use, if it is a binary, I should use RB, read binary. That is the mode for reading a binary file. And now you can see this now. Problem solved. You can see here. It got struck actually. Got it right. You know, it's not opening because that's what the problem is. This idle doesn't support. So for us, the buffer of idle is not that sufficient. You can see here it's saying not responding. So I should do something now. Even the system got hang here. Now you see here now. See. Okay, just observe there. This is a binary data. Can you see it now? This is how it looks like. And a prefix B is shown here. But the whole binary data at the beginning, if you see here, I cannot move the cursor. If I move the cursor, it's just skipping off. No problem. That is not something too important for us. But you can see these are all the pixels for a binary file. Okay, like when you convert it to some normal format, these are all pixels. Okay, probably I expect this to be hexadecimal data. This data seems to be a bit of hexadecimal, and binary form is there. Okay, wherever you have 0B, there are binaries. But anyhow, we don't need to break our head here. That is not necessary. This is only just to show that this is how binary that image data look like. How your images look. The internal image will be, it has data like this. It is stored like this. Can you see it now? Sandeep, I think your question has an answer here. It's okay. That's it. Even it is not getting closed. Okay, fine. That's an issue, not an issue. I have to close this idle and I have to open it again. There is no other. It's got stuck here because the buffer file of this is a limited size actually. For idle, it doesn't have huge buffer to store the whole data. Yes, and the same for audio, video, images. For all that, it looks the same. If you want, you can just replace JPG in place of MP3 what is that? You can place some MP4 and you can check it once. Okay, you can try that there. Okay, now I will open it one more time and then I can test it now. File, open, drive. I think I have saved somewhere. Python programs. So this is my program. I will open it. Okay. Right. Now after this is about all the text files. Got it right? Understood? Is it clear now? Now this is a quick walk through the attributes of files. Now we completely discussed how to work with text files and binary files. We have seen different methods available in both the files. The point is the functions are same. The way we use the functions is almost similar for all the different files. It's not just specific to only text files. Even if you go to CSV or if you go to JSON or XML, the approach is same. The way we open or the way we read or the way we write, the kind of operation seems to be same, but the way there are certain syntactical differences. That is what we have to observe. Okay? The steps doesn't change, so that is fine for us. Now I can say we are good with both text files and binary files. Now let's understand attributes of files. This is nothing. It's a simple quick walkthrough. You can open a file like this. Already we have emp.txt. You can open it. Then f dot name returns name of file. F dot mode returns mode of file. Is it readable? Is it writable? If it is writable, it will return true. If it is readable, it is written true. If not, it returns false. And it will also see if file is closed or not. If it is closed, then after that I am closing it. Okay. If it is not closed, if it is closed, it will return true. Otherwise, it returns false. That is the difference here. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, you can try it, Sandeep. No problem. So, not an issue. So here, what I'm doing is this is a quick walkthrough. As I say, I just open this file. And, there is no that path is not directly available. I should change it a bit there. I will modify. Here, I don't have Vidatri folder in E drive now for now. I'm using LearnWell. So what I do is I just need EMP. So I'll try to copy EMP file directly /EMP and then Control A, Control C, and then here just make sure your path is correct. Otherwise, there is nothing you can do. Your file returns error always. The script returns always an error if your path is not correct. Okay. Okay. // again one more time. Now you can just quickly check what's happening here. Okay, and then go to the run. Then say run module, and you can see that right. The mode is read mode, and then it's readable. It's writable is false because if it is readable, obviously writable is false. And it is closed before I closed. If you see here, in the program, before close I tested closed. It is not closed, so it returned false. After close again I tested closed. It returned true. So these are all a quick check and attributes of files, like just to see what is the name of file or what is the mode or whether it is readable or writable. Okay, whether it is closed. To check such things, these attributes are very useful to us. So even we have quickly discussed all this, so that is enough for us. And now the next thing is once after we do that, Okay, now we are done with one kind of files properly, thoroughly. Yesterday we have seen a use case. We almost spent 1 hour on that use case, so that is more than sufficient. But still, there is no limit for working with files. Okay, and we can work with many examples as well. But this is enough. Practice which we had so far is enough to implement any kind of to process any kind of text file. Now there is one more thing you need to quickly upgrade here. What is that? Is opening can be done in two ways. So far we have seen a standard and normal type of opening a file. There is one more more advanced kind of opening a file here, that is with open. When you look at it with open, we can open a file like this. The difference is both are doing same thing. We don't have too many differences, but the only thing is when you use with open, you can observe one thing here. You don't find this close function here. If you observe, with open is something which open a file, it will automatically close the file. You don't need to explicitly write a close function. It's not necessary, gentlemen and ladies here. So that is what with open is. And you can see, sometimes in your some websites or YouTube channels or somewhere else, you can also see open people using this kind of open. You don't need to worry about it because we can use any one of these two opens. So usually people use more of this with open nowadays. But it's not like you should use only this. You can also use the previous one, whichever you are comfortable. That is it. So what is difference here is you can directly say with open, same syntax. You have to pass file name here, you have to pass mode here, but that file pointer, earlier we opened a file and assigned to a file pointer. Now we assign same thing to a file pointer by using as function here, as keyword. Okay, you should say open file and then as f, means this is the file pointer which is pointing to the whole file here. Earlier we used to assign with assignment operator to a file pointer, but now we do the same by using as keyword. Then after that, we are applying same read function and assigning to some variable. Then we are printing it. There is no change the way you do the operation. The difference is here, as it is with open, the closing task or the closing function is done by this itself. You don't need to explicitly use this close function here. That is the difference. I hope this is clear for all of you, right? Yes or no? Is it clear to all of you? Yes, no? Huh? No comment? What do you say? Clear for everyone? Or out of coverage area? Fine, no issues. You want to test it quickly? You do one thing. Just copy this. We have abc.txt, right? I don't know what is in that. We'll quickly see and try. How to read it, right? With open as f. We have done it number of times. Okay, what you do is quickly go to abc.txt and see what is there. Some text data is there. Just let's run that and see what happens now. Nothing happens. You see the text data. But here, when you use with open, indentation is very important. All the statements which you write should be inside this inside this with open. Can you see here? There is a clear indentation applied here, and that is very important. And if you don't follow indentation, suppose if I move these statements directly to the, if every statement is within the same, what is that? Same line. So you are not, you are applying same indentation for all this. Okay, this will fail, gentlemen. This won't work because this is a separate statement, and this is also treated as an individual statement. This is also treated as individual test statement. These won't be part of file. If you try to run it, see this now. It's clearly saying expected and indented block. If this is possible with normal open, you can write normal open. All the lines can be same in the same can have same indentation. They has to be present within open and close. But here when you use with open, as you don't have close here, you have to push them inside to this with open. Now the indentation is there. You don't have an issue. Now you can just say run module. File not found error. Of course, that is fine. You know why? Because that ABC is available in Learnwell. So path is very important. As I just told some time back, your path is very important, folks. Don't forget to mention proper path. Okay. Now you just remove this. You just pass the path, then save it, then run it. Okay. Then you this time, what is that? There is some kind of yes, of course. I told I even forget what I taught to you people. You should use double slash here. Don't use this. Now you can see the error there, right? Somehow I cleared all my issues. This time I'm pretty confident. We see some output. Perfect. Can you see there? Can you see there, guys? Is it visible? Got some idea? Please test it once, sir. Test this once with open. And if you have any issues, if you don't understand, ask me to repeat it. But don't please keep quiet. Don't hesitate. Because what's the point is you people doing well in your projects or somewhere, wherever you want to apply in your courses. That is what I want. In your colleges, guys, did you test this program? All of you are good now? Tested? There is another one. There are so many programs for us. Next task is working with CSV. But before CSV, I'll switch to JSON first because we need to understand how to deal with JSON. And there is one more thing, how random access of files here, of text files. We'll see this also. You need to learn how to do a random access of a file. That is also important. Okay. But these are all simple because this is Python, right? We don't have pointers. We have functions directly. And if you understand how this function behaves, then it's easy for us. I don't think there is any difficulty. Okay. And I have a meeting after this, so today I cannot, continue for more time. Okay. We'll meet next week and we'll try to learn more things on file processing, and we'll try to see how JSON files works and understand more of how to deal with JSON. It's a very interesting thing with JSON actually, very useful, and even CSV also, because we try to read CSVs and process CSVs. I will give you a couple of use cases, real use cases, and ask you how to compare data between when you have a CSV, because that is what we do. I will give all the use cases which we work in our projects, so that that is more than enough for you to get some idea. So when you keep taking another problems and solving them, definitely it might help you to master everything. Okay, but these are enough for us. That gives you a solid foundation, so that you can start working in your projects. I see Ayappa is already doing that. It's already working in a project, on Python project in US. Okay, what do you say, Ayappa? Next week, I think you get better understanding with the JSONs as well. What kind of files you are processing?
Yeah, mostly CSVs.
Okay. How about JSONs?
Yeah, JSON too.
Okay.
Most of the times we use text files actually, because we write a scripting, so we usually use text files.
Oh, that's really awesome. Then now you should have a better understanding with text files. Or does it improve anything with these sessions? Or already you have some better understanding?
No, these are really helpful. I'm getting more knowledge.
Okay,
I used to have some knowledge, but these are really helpful to get the core knowledge.
Okay, fine. Yep, that's good to hear. Next week we'll play with lot of JSONs and CSVs. We'll go a little deeper, not just the conceptual or very basic examples. We'll take use cases and we apply, so that you become independent and start working like a charm. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Any questions from anyone? Madhu or Srikanth or any of you? Okay, Divakar or Kavya or Parthasarathi or Sandeep. Just see any of you. Any questions, guys? All of you are good now? Okay, I have a meeting. I need to go to High Tech City now quickly. Sorry, guys. Okay, but keep attending, and this session won't stop. Please share with your friends. Okay, that is the only thing I keep requesting, because I don't have anything else. And if you have anything, you update me. You can ask questions. If you don't understand, don't keep quiet. Try to ask me to repeat it, so that I can repeat it. I have patience. Okay, these are intended to make sure that you get right training practices. That's what we are doing here. Okay, if anything is there, bring to my notice or bring in WhatsApp. We'll discuss. Thank you.